40,000 years ago, something happened that should have been impossible. A wild predator walked toward the one species it should have feared the most, humans. But it did not attack. It did not run away. It sat near our fire and waited. That single decision changed the future of two species forever. Because the dog sleeping in your house today is not simply a domesticated animal, it is the descendant of a wild wolf that made a choice thousands of generations ago. But the real mystery is this: why would one of the most dangerous predators on Earth choose to stay beside humans? To understand that, we have to go back to a world where humans were not the dominant species. 40,000 years ago, humans were vulnerable. We had no sharp claws, no powerful jaws, and no natural weapons like the predators around us. A wolf pack had almost every advantage we lacked. They were faster, stronger, and they could work together with incredible coordination. In the frozen landscapes of the Ice Age, wolves were among the most successful hunters on Earth. Humans were simply trying to survive, but humans possessed something that no other animal could control: fire. Fire changed everything. It gave humans something impossible in the ancient world: a safe place in the middle of darkness. Around the fire there was warmth, protection, and cooked food. Beyond the fire was a world filled with danger. Every predator understood one rule: stay away from the flames. But one wolf broke that rule, not the strongest wolf, not the leader of a powerful pack. Probably just a desperate animal that had been separated from its group and was struggling to survive. The wolf smelled something unusual drifting through the cold night air: cooked meat, animal fat, bones left behind after a human meal. For a starving predator, that smell was impossible to ignore. The wolf slowly approached the edge of the firelight. Inside the camp, humans noticed the glowing eyes watching them from the darkness. Their instincts told them the same thing: this animal was dangerous. But instead of throwing a spear, someone did something unexpected. They threw a leftover bone toward the wolf. The wolf grabbed it, and then something strange happened. It left, but the next night it returned, and the night after that it came back again. Without anyone realizing it, the first step toward the human-dog relationship had begun. But this was not because humans trained wolves. It happened because nature started rewarding a certain type of wolf. Inside every wolf population, there are different personalities. Some wolves are aggressive. They are territorial, reactive, and willing to fight anything that threatens them. Others are calmer. They are more curious, less fearful, and more willing to observe before attacking. In the wild, those calm wolves often struggled. They were not always the strongest fighters. They did not always win conflicts over food, but near human camps, the rules changed. An aggressive wolf that rushed toward humans would be chased away or killed. A calmer wolf that stayed at a distance and waited could receive food without fighting. That wolf survived. That wolf reproduced, and its offspring inherited those same traits. Generation after generation, the wolves that could tolerate humans became more successful. They were not becoming dogs overnight. They were slowly changing through thousands of years of natural selection. And scientists later discovered something incredible. In 1959, a Soviet scientist named Dmitry Belyaev started an experiment with wild foxes. He did not select the biggest foxes. He did not select the strongest. He selected only one thing: which foxes were the least afraid of humans. After several generations, something unexpected happened. The foxes became friendlier. They started seeking human attention. Their physical appearance even began changing. Their faces became softer. Their ears became floppy. They started looking more like animals designed to live alongside humans. The experiment showed something important. When an animal evolves around human cooperation, its entire body can change. And this may explain what happened with ancient wolves. But the biggest transformation was not happening in their bodies. It was happening in their minds. Somewhere during thousands of years around human camps, these wolves began learning something no other predator had mastered. They began understanding humans. Modern dogs can read human emotions better than almost any other animal. They can recognize our expressions. They notice changes in our behavior. They can sense when something is wrong, sometimes before we even realize it ourselves. That ability began with ancient wolves sitting outside human fires, watching us, studying us, and learning that humans were not just another species. We were a species worth staying near. But this creates an even bigger mystery. The relationship between humans and wolves was never a simple friendship. At the beginning, it was a dangerous partnership between two species that needed each other, but could still become enemies at any moment. For thousands of years, humans and wolves lived in a fragile balance, and that balance almost broke. As human groups became larger, something changed. Small human camps always had leftover food. Bones, scraps, and pieces of meat were left behind, giving nearby wolves a reason to stay close. But when tribes grew bigger, humans started using almost everything they could find. There were fewer scraps, less food, and hungry wolves are not patient animals. The same creatures that once waited peacefully near the fire could become a threat when survival was at stake. But then something happened that forced both species to depend on each other again: a changing climate.